Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Advisor with Stacey Chillemi. And today I'm very excited because we have Dr. Robb Kelly today. He is a Ph.D. psychologist and neuroscientist, and he has an amazing topic that he's going to touch on today. And we're going to talk about the subconscious and conscious mind. Now, I asked Dr. Kelly if he could introduce his topic because he said it so beautifully, and it's just an amazing topic that's going to blow your mind. Dr. Kelly, it is such an amazing honor to have you on the show today. I am honored that you're here, and I love the topic that you're going to talk about today. I love everything you do. And can you tell everybody what you wanted to tell and teach everybody, the message you wanted to get across today?
So the main message that I try and teach today is that anybody can recover from any psych injury, mental health, addiction, depression. And what we've found over the years is how powerful the subconscious mind and the conscious mind fight for our attention every day. And if we only knew how the brain really worked, then everybody would be living their best life. And that's what we need to do. We're 9,500 patients in right now after 30 years of doing this. And just like you, Stacey, today's not about, grabbing patients. I've done all that. It's about giving back. So when I go on podcasts, I go, what do you want to sell? I go, nothing. If we can save a life today, if we can change a life with the understanding what we're going to discuss today, my job's done and your job's done.
Right. Exactly. Now, I love how you talk about how powerful the subconscious mind is and how powerful the conscious mind is. And people don't realize, how the two go in part with each other. Most of our stuff is stored in our subconscious mind, and we repress information from years and years and years, and a lot of times we have problems and they stem from our subconscious, but we just don't know how to connect the two. Now, tell us a little about, how the brain works. And when you talk about, our topic today, what are some of the main things you want people to understand?
So with addiction, there's three parts of the brain that differ. Three major parts that play a big role in how we perceive life and how we're successful, whatever that means. It used to be money for me. It's not anymore. It never made me happy. But we got the hypothalamus, basal ganglia, and the amygdala. So what happens every morning when you wake up, and the reason why nobody's woke up laughing ever, is lack of oxygen. So most people walk around 45 to 55% of their capability and capacity because we don't breathe properly. So the subconscious loves hypoxic situations. So the subconscious mind wakes us up first thing in the morning. That's the guy who's going to be depressed, not going to do anything, cheat on his girlfriend, all the bad stuff from childhood trauma, which is the gateway drug, by the way. So
Yes.
we've got to almost kill the subconscious and ignite the conscious to run that day. And the way we do that is breath work. Rapid 20 exaggerated breaths in and out before we start the day. Then there's oxygen to every single cell in the body, and you will act different. You'll be clearer, you'll think better, you're ready for the day. Stacey, people say to me, well, you can't be happy every day. And my answer to that is, says who?
Yes.
Who's making these rules up? Because I
Right.
don't like them. You can be happy every single day, and you can be successful every single day. And that's what life's about.
Yes. Oh, so true. So true. I think we put a lot of these perceptions in our head because we grew up in certain environments and this is what we were taught. So we think a certain way, and we think, the way our parents taught us and way maybe grandma and grandpa, the things and way our aunt and uncles, said things. And then these false beliefs become believed in our own brain and it becomes a
Yes.
reality because we
Oh,
perceived it
wow.
that way,
Wow.
but it doesn't, your
You're
perception
the
of
only
life.
person that's ever got that.
What?
Yeah, you're the only person that said that to me. The only person, but it's so true. That's exactly what it is. When we're youngsters and we're throwing a ball in America or kicking a ball in England as kids, what do you want to be, Johnny? I want to be a doctor. What about you, Billy? I want to be a footballer. What happened to them dreams? I'll tell you. They were kicked out of us by our family and friends, unfortunately. Don't be stupid, Robert. You can't go to college. You're too stupid to go to college. And I carried that around for childhood trauma for years and years. We can smash those. And once you start operating at 90 to 95% of your capability, you realize one thing powerful, and that is You can be anybody and achieve anything that you want to achieve. Now, years ago, I used to say that in America when I first came over, and the same reply came back every time. Well, I can't be president of the United States. Let's forget political views. I'm not into politics whatsoever.
Yeah.
We had a business and running the country with no political experience. Don't dare tell me you can't achieve your dreams. It's just not true. But we've got to get rid of that old mindset with that basal ganglia going round and round again, that we're not good enough. We're never tall enough, blonde enough, rich enough, or thin enough. That's what we've been told as kids.
Yes, so true. It's so true. It's so true. So, so when it comes to really, changing the way we think, you know, uh, what are some of the things that you feel are most effective to get people to start changing their way of thinking, changing how the brain functions? What's the most effective way to start really learn how to either break those addictions or become a success or whatever your goals and whatever important to you? How do we start using, making changes in our lives that will affect our brain, will affect our actions, and will make us be the person we want to become?
So the oxygen is really important every morning, but life's about patterns. Addiction is about patterns. Depression is about patterns. Once you can work the patterns out or change your pattern completely, then you can start to heal. Now, most of it you can't do on your own because it goes back to childhood trauma. So we have a part in our brain called the basal ganglia, and it's kind of, if you imagine a clock face, it's a repetition, strength, and confirms of a thought pattern. What happens with most people with childhood trauma, and everybody has childhood trauma, is, 10 after we start being somebody, 20 after we drink or get depressed, half past the wife comes back, 22 the kids come back, and at 10 to the hour we'll self-sabotage because we repeat in the same behavior as before.
Yeah.
So we really have to look that there's a number of things you need to do. You've got to look at the food that you eat in. 90% of food in grocery stores, supermarkets are sprayed in cornstarch, canola oils, rancid seed oils, sunflower oils. They're damaging the body. And this is what happens, Stacey. So I live in at home, mom and dad. So the food that we're eating is 70% cheaper than everyone else because I grew up on the projects. So what happens, let's say my dad can't methylate onions, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
When you can't methylate a food or protein, there becomes a deficiency. That deficiency may cause heart problems. Right. So when I leave the house and start with my girlfriend, I'm kind of eating the same things, but I don't know about the onions. So I'm eating the onions. I can't turn that into fuel. So I get heart disease and I say, oh, I've caught it off my dad, or it's hereditary. It's not. It's biologically impossible for that to happen. So you have to look at your whole life. So there's 4 chemicals. You've got dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Every single day that need to happen in the brain to make you happy. These neurotransmitters need to boost every single day. But serotonin, which is a good one, and dopamine, which is the best one, are created in the gut. So you have to look at all of your life. And if you think for a second that, hey, well, I can't see a pattern in my life. This is how easy it is. Let's say we all go out to the coast. We jump on the bus. We have a great time. We get down there. We spend the day at the coast. When you get back on the bus, which seat do you sit in? You sit in 9 out of 10 times the one that you traveled there in. There's a pattern. And if you have a number of patterns you can't see, then you can't break them. And you just repeat that cycle of self-sabotage.
Yes. Oh, so true, so true. And you know what really struck me is when you mentioned about the 4 chemicals in our brain, how 2 of them, the 2 main ones, are formulated in our stomach. We have a society, and in the United States especially, I know it's not just the United States, we have obesity problem. We have problems because people are eating processed food. All these foods have terrible chemicals and ingredients that are artificial that we place in our bodies consistently if we are one of those type of people who put processed foods in our body. And those, if our body doesn't know what to do with it, it stores it. And if it stores it in our body, then it's going to affect our brain because it's going to travel and leach onto organs. It's going to travel to eventually to the brain. Everything that you need, you are fed by fuel and oxygen. So if those things are corrupted and those things aren't, you're not getting enough of oxygen and you're not getting the proper foods in your body, then you are going to be destroying your brain. And God knows what other kind of diseases you can incorporate over time.
That's exactly what it is. And the more people know this, the better. It's very important. If you, I went in, I was doing a live TV the other day and we went into a grocery store and I saw this bar and it had 9 grams of protein, 0 fat. And I'm like, I'm going to buy this for the family. It's absolutely amazing. And
Yeah.
then I showed the camera, we turned it around, canola oil, sunflower oil, red colors, yellow colors. Everything we eat, guys, it's not used in the original form that we eat it.
Yes.
So if I eat bread, it's not used as bread, it's methylated and turned into the energy that we need. So if we're having these oils and chemicals in our body that we're not meant to methylate, that's why the obesity. You can break down most things in the store and turn it around, look at the ingredients, and you'll see 4 or 5 you probably can't pronounce. They're probably the bad ones, by the way. Zero sugar does not mean zero sugar. They're
Yes.
just going to put it in a different format. I mean, you
Exactly.
can go, look, McDonald's fries, probably the worst thing you can eat, okay? But in England, McDonald's fries have 3 ingredients: potato, salt, water. Why in America do we have 22 ingredients?
Yes.
Well, it's all for longevity of food. You buy KFC, leave the KFC chicken, fried chicken, leave it out for a week. It's
Yes.
not rotted, it's not gone bad. And
Mhm.
this is what we're led into. So I'm hoping, again, with the new health minister, that this is going to be changed and we need to get back to raw foods.
Yes, raw foods is key. People don't realize, but that's why people were so healthy back in the day. Everybody, they ate natural food, homegrown food. Everything was, we didn't have all these chemicals and pesticides and all these things to make the longevity of the foods, exist. It was fresh. You ate it, and then the next day you went and you got new vegetables and you got new things to make, and that's why people's health was so different, and that's why you didn't have the obesity and you didn't see diabetes tripling and you didn't see all these other things happening. So many people suffer from even mental health problems too. Why are now all these things popping up? You didn't, is it a lack of knowledge from when we just didn't grow up, we didn't have the knowledge, or is it because of the foods we're put in, we're now having new cases and new ailments that we are now diagnosing because they just are appearing after so many decades of abusing our body.
That's it. I mean, you look at the pharmaceutical companies that advertise, there's a new medication every week. So, and there's a
Yes.
new illness. Do you suffer from? I've never heard of it before. Do you
Yeah.
suffer from what? What? It's like, I mean, you can go across the board and go, hey, look at, fentanyl, the worst drug ever. Well, it's for the pain. Hey, listen, methadone was good enough for my mom when she was giving birth and a cancer and everything. So why is everything about money today? I mean,
Yes.
surely when the companies are earning billions of dollars. But what happened back in the day is the biggest cigarette company, I'm not going to name them, when they knew there was a problem with cigarettes, they bought the biggest food company in the world and they started putting stuff in our food. And that's how it all started. I don't know, 10, 20, 30 years ago. But yeah, we just, there's a way around this. There's a better way. And don't be fooled, by the way, guys, going to Whole Foods.
Yes.
You gotta look at everything you buy. You've got to be drinking the water, getting the oxygen, having the fruit, doing all this great stuff that we do. Get back to basics and you watch your personal life take off, because I want everybody to be successful.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a multimillionaire. I don't mind saying that. From homeless, I'm proud of that. I'm not bragging,
Yes.
I'm proud of it. But my greatest moment was getting my children back after they've been taken off me 30 years ago. I got them back recently. And the only reason I got them back is getting back in shape, getting the mental clarity, being the best person I can be, always giving back to others. And if you believe in God, Uncle Jimmy, universe, you get blessed with that stuff. Because if I don't get well, Stacey, I can't help anybody. And
Exactly.
I was put on this earth to help people.
Yes.
We give $150,000 back out of my own bank account, me and my wife. 25% of our work is pro, but it's giving back all the time. And that's where
Yes.
you find true life and true happiness, I think.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I think, my biggest achievement was when I had written a book and someone had found the book on Barnes and Nobles. They opened the book up and they said that they were on the verge of suicide. They emailed me and they said they read my book, they followed my regimen, and they just wanted to thank me because I saved their life. And that was when the
Wow.
light bulb went off. And that was the thing that stuck with me all these decades because that was my motivation when I realized the words of wisdom, the messages we spread can impact people's lives so deeply, and that's what it's about. I think people in this society, we get too wrapped up in making money and greed and wanting to make more money when it's really about caring and giving to others. Everything comes naturally if we do the right thing.
I think as well, you've got to sit down, guys, and look at what happiness is. Now, like again, I was always about money. Just get 100 grand in the bank, 500,000, a million, 10 million. It was never good enough. Now, it's easy to say being wealthy, that, oh, don't worry about money. We know you have to earn money, but I think the priority is for me, it's God, family, and then providing a living for. I mean, my eldest daughter is now my lead therapist in Manchester office. I have 5 offices around the world. It's stuff like that, guys. We realize that, yeah, all money buys, Stacey, is space. Bigger
Yeah.
car, bigger house doesn't buy happiness. Because when I got reunited 4 years ago with my daughter, we were talking about, because we got taken off, I was homeless. I said, listen, every year we got a brand new car. I had a big extension on the house for a playroom for you. And she's put a hand up and said, Dad, I just wanted your attention and your love.
Yeah,
I cried for about 2 hours, Stacey,
I believe
because
it.
I thought from the more we turn up in the brand new Mercedes, everyone's going to be looking and go, oh, Charlie's a great. It wasn't about that, guys. And if you're going to take anything away from this podcast, take this. We don't have time.
Yeah.
We all think we got time. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, Nick. Mums, waving them off to kindergarten. Next minute, I'm waving them off to college. Think about that
Yes.
sentence for a second. You have to slow everything down. When the conscious brain is ignited, you live in the now. We only have the now. And I
Yes.
used to hate that saying, but we do. And
Yeah.
when we have the now, we can think better, we can act better. I've just lost 157 pounds over the last 2 years.
Congratulations.
It's anything is possible once you get, your diet, your oxygen, make sure the intake's good, get to the gym, 20 minutes exercise every day, get the sun. Everything becomes possible. Nothing is
Yes.
impossible when it comes to achieving stuff, including
Yes.
happiness.
Oh, 100%. So beautifully said. It really, you have to have your priorities in line. And you know what? When you think clearly like this is when you start to do the right things in your life and you start to really, you're able to actually understand when you take care of yourself and you're doing the right thing, you actually start to think clearer and your life doesn't seem so congested and cluttered. There's so many people that are not eating the right way. They're not taking care of their bodies. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And life is chaotic to them.
Yeah.
They can't think right. Their mind is going in so many different ways. And one of the things that when you talked about that tobacco company that we both know about that bought that food company, a lot of the foods have chemicals in them that make you addicted to the foods. And so you can consistently have the craving to
Yes.
want to eat it over and over and over again. And then we're intoxicating our bodies because we have become addicted to the food. And you had mentioned addiction in the beginning. Well, a lot of the foods are causing us to have addictions.
Yeah, we've tied food to addiction. We've tied food to a lot of illnesses and stuff, but especially addiction. But what happens is we're eating these rancid foods and we can't think properly. The noise is all around us. And what happens is because of our childhood trauma, whatever you go through, there are some people, I'd say about 70% of the people that need to live a chaotic life
Yeah.
because of the past. And
Hmm.
when they start getting well or look at people around them, get rid of the noise, it feels uncomfortable. So they self-sabotage. The
Yes.
idea is to sit there on your own and ask God, universe, Uncle Jimmy, I don't care what it is, what's life about? What do I need in my life to help other people? And the rest, it's like A, B, and C will follow.
Yeah.
It's guys, again, I'm a homeless guy. I grew up on the projects, very poor. We couldn't afford food, but it ain't that hard to win $1 million. And I say that seriously, not, no, I say it very seriously. Once you start realizing who you are, once you get your identity,
Yeah.
Because our identity, especially with marriages and stuff, when we split up, or our job, when we're at our job for 10 years and we lose our identity was the job. Guys, stop it. Oh, my friends at work are family. No, they're not. You walk around on the same piece of carpet for 8 hours.
Yes.
That's all you have.
Yes.
Families, the guys with you, the family, the brother and sister, try that, get that unit tight with you, and have 3 or 4 friends in your inner circle, because there's always one person around you that wants you to fail, guys.
Yes. So true.
You'll never get anybody commenting negatively. It's doing as good as you or better. It's always the guys that are not doing as good that want to negatively comment on what you do. You've got to ignore them haters, man. You really do, because when you're being successful, you'll have people comment, you have your haters and all that. I'm down to 3 now, I think. It's awesome. You'll have the guy, but you've got to realize that if you don't have haters, you're not doing the right thing. Yeah. And once you start, most of my haters now work for me, would you believe? So life's about being 100% happy every single day. I'm a 10 out of 10 every day. Well, Rob, you can't. Says who?
Yes.
Says who? Oh, well, it's just not possible. Says who? Come home and what? You want to see if I'm happy? Come on, follow me home. Live with me for a year. I'm happy every day. I got up out of a dry bed this morning. You know, I never got up a dry bed when I was homeless. I used to sleep under bushes, stuff like that. It's like gratitude is the most important thing that I own today.
Yes. How did you go from being homeless to actually get into the next level and starting to actually fulfill your needs and your dreams? You know, you went from being homeless, and then now you're an established doctor who has a very flourishing career that's helping people. And that was your primary goal. You didn't care about the money. We all need money to survive, but your goal was to help people, and you've accomplished all this. How did you go from one level in your life and be able to excel to where you are today?
Well, I died twice on the streets in Manchester, UK, and I
Wow.
had 5 more attempts. So I think something happens to you when you die. And they brought me back on the side of a horrible, wet, smelly road in the back end of Manchester. I had a spiritual awakening that day. And then I always knew, Stacey, and like again, on the projects, the worst of the worst, I always knew that I would do something with my life.
Yeah.
I always knew that something crazy would happen. So when I did get off the streets, the guy saved me after 14 months on the streets. I attacked this with a vengeance. I attacked it as if it was life or death. I attacked it. I knew there was more to the brain. That was the thing. And I remember outside a liquor store one day, and alcohol was my problem. And I'm shaking and I'm sweating and it's snowing. I got a vest on, pair of shorts, flip-flops. I'm sweating. I'm going into DTs. The guy sneakily opens the door and he lets me in. He's not supposed to. He says, Rob, it's okay. I put my pound on the counter. He put the bottle of vodka, and I'm going to, and I held the bottle. Everything was perfect. Mood changed, sweats changed. Everything went, and I was in a different mood. And I remember looking at the bottle, looking at the shopkeeper back at the bottle, and going, "Oh my God, it's not about the alcohol," which led me into it's not what we think it. There's the problem. No, but that's not the problem.
Yeah.
I might be the problem. So if I change me, it's funny how people change around you when I change myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. And when I started to change, oh, Johnny's changed. Now I've changed, because we walk around with everything. We're like a billboard here. If I walk into a room with 10 people with a frown on my face, most people are going to frown back. Yes. If I'm walking with a smile on my face, most people are going to smile. It's the mirroring part of the brain that connects. Yeah. It's like once you realize that life is short, life is supposed to live to the full. Well, Dr. Rob, what if I can't? What if you can?
Yeah.
How many times was J.K. Rowling turned down? How many times was the Beatles turned down? It's not how many times you turn down, it's how many times you get back up and fight for what you want. Because I answered one question I asked everybody is, how bad do you want this?
Yes.
Well, next. Can't take you on. How bad do you want it? And I'm after the guy and girl. I want it bad, doctor. I want it really bad. Okay, well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, guys, because we've seen miracles every single day. Yes. You've got to be giving back to see the miracle.
Yes. Oh.
You can't rest on the laurels. You can't sit in your house at home. If you're an alcoholic, guys, and you've recovered from it and you're still doing the same old job in the same old broken down apartment, go drink, because that is not why you're put on this earth. You
Yes.
put all that stuff in my past, the stabbing my wife 3 times because she won't let me finish a bottle of vodka, the abuse of everything I did now becomes my greatest asset going forward. Because
Right.
you go, what do you know, Dr. Rob, about? And I go, check, 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 check. That's why.
Yes.
So it's like a semester at Harvard University for me, homelessness.
Wow. That's powerful. That's so powerful. And I love the part that you said, how bad do you really want it? Because so many people say, I want this and I want that. And but then how bad do you really want it? What changes, what sacrifices are you willing to make to get it?
Yeah,
And then you really see how bad they really do want it. Because everybody likes wants the golden egg. But do you really want it so bad that
yes.
you're willing to make sacrifices? You're willing to change your life. You're willing to break bad habits. You're willing to do the things that most people don't want to because they fear of the unknown.
So somebody said to me once, he says, Rob, people are jealous of you. And I go, no. Notice how people are never jealous how you got here? And it
Mhm.
was like a grenade. It was like, oh my God, that is so true.
Yes.
We pay our dues, guys. I want them back. I wanted them back. I wanted life to take on a new meaning. I wanted an amazing thing to happen. I want to help straight. I'm crazy. I stop at gas stations and wait for the mom with the 5 kids in the car squeezing out to. I'm crazy like that. I wait. I bless monetary because I can. Thank you, God.
Yeah.
Every time I leave the house, I give time. I give everything I can. I give because for me, Stacey, you know what? I believe in heaven and God. When I get up to God, one thing He isn't going to ask me, Stacey. He's not going to ask me how much was that car I drove and how big was that house. He's going to ask me one thing, Stacey, and that is how many people did you help, Rob? And
Yes.
I want a big number.
Yes. I agree 100%. I want to leave this earth with a legacy. I want to put my footprint in and know that when I left, I made a difference. I made a difference in someone's life. I made a difference in millions of people's lives. If you could help one person, that is the most wonderful accomplishment you could ever do in your life. But if you have the power and the ability, and I think we have specific people that are given that power ability, everybody could have it, but there are some people that know they have it, that take that ability and then they change people's lives. And I wanted to be one of those people like you. And I want to be able, when my time comes, I want to be able to leave this earth with a smile on my face, knowing that I did something that will be there forever, that will make change. Maybe when I'm gone, someone will turn on one of my podcasts and it will help them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I want to know I left doing something good.
I know that all the time. People call me up and go, I was watching this and was doing this, and I saw you on here, and I pressed the radio station, and we went over a bump, and click, you were on the radio, and you saved my life. And that's the stuff that I like because
Yeah.
you got to. I mean, guys, you got to smile at people. There's a great story. A guy walks to the Golden Gate Bridge, throws himself off, commits suicide. When the police pull him out, they find his ID, they go back to his apartment to look for next of kin. But what they find is a note on the kitchen table. And it read, true story, I'm going to walk to the Golden Gate Bridge, which was an hour's walk, Stacey. I'm going to throw myself off, commit suicide. Unless on the way there, somebody smiles, somebody says good morning, or anything, and I'll stop and I'll try again tomorrow. Question, how many people have you walked past today, guys, who's heading to the Golden Gate Bridge?
Yeah.
You see, we never know.
You never know.
And in your loneliest moment, you can save a life. And
Yes.
you're never going to know how many people you've saved,
Yes.
But the thing is, when we start doing this, all the stuff we've talked about today, amazing things start to happen to you.
Yes.
Amazing things. But you've got to stick in there. Sometimes, my podcast, your podcast, there's lonely times in there where you get like 10 viewers and you've got to keep going, guys. You've
Yeah.
got to keep going. You're starting a business. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yes.
Great sentence was, I don't know who said it, but you in hell, keep walking, marching on, guys. Get up every morning with that how bad you want it attitude.
Yeah.
Smile every day. Go out there and be the best person you can be, and life will change.
Yes. 100%. 100%. People, so many people give up. They don't get the results that they want right away. And give up. But you know what? Just like you had mentioned earlier, people don't they see the success, but they don't know what happened behind the scenes. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Some people it could take years. Some people, there's a very small percentage that it happens right away. The rest of the people go through a lot of failures and they get back up and they try again and they try again and they try again to the point where they finally reach that level because they didn't give up. They had the resilience and determination to want to make that change and they didn't give up. And that's why they are what they are today.
When I see a guy in a Rolls Royce, my friends are, oh, look at him, look at him. I don't look at it. I think, what price did he pay to drive that Rolls Royce?
Yep.
For me, it was 30 years without my children. Now, I'm telling you now, dads and mums, every Christmas, every birthday, I sent Christmas cards and birthday cards and presents to my children, and my ex-wife wouldn't let them see it. So my mom, I'd send it to my mom and thought they got them, but they never got them, guys. They never got them. But I stayed with it. Every Christmas, you sent presents,
Yeah.
And a couple of years ago, my parents died, and my daughter and my sister was looking through some things, and my daughter found this big, that's why she got in contact with me, this big chest in the corner, and she opened it, and there was
Wow.
every single present and card that I'd sent for 20 odd years. You
Wow.
see, you're going to get paid. You're going to get paid back, guys, but
Yeah.
you've got to keep going. The
Yeah.
Beatles were once told that it was so bad, no one would ever sign them. J.K. Rowling, they laughed at her. So back to the council estate with the kids, and keep going. You're meant for better things. Once you realize your identity and what you're meant for, find your niche in life.
Yes.
I had a guy with me once. I asked him, he was alcoholic, and I asked him what he did part time, what you do for fun, and he said, I can't tell you, you're going to laugh. I said, no, tell me. He says, I knit socks for my family. They all get a pair at Christmas.
Yeah.
So we bought him a website, got him some cards, and I said, your idea is to sell one pair of socks. That's all this month. He sold 3 pairs, Stacey. That guy now runs the biggest sock industry in the world. The guys
Wow.
that you buy a pair, they give a pair away,
Hmm.
and he started with one pair of socks. That was a stupid idea. Don't be ridiculed, guys. You have an aim on this life, and don't let anybody pull you away from that aim. Once you know, don't let anybody pull you away. And when I was homeless, I just knew that I'd end up here.
I love it. If we had to take today's conversation, now you just mentioned some really important factors, but if you wanted to really maybe emphasize on a couple important things that you want people to make sure they remember leaving this podcast today, what are some takeaways you'd like to present to the audience?
Number one, guys, start loving yourself and be kind to yourself. Watch the internal dialogue. I drop a pen. Oh, you idiot. Stop that, guys. Because the subconscious brain loves that negative talk, and
Yeah.
it will hold it. Like everything we've done in our lives is held there.
Yeah.
And when that you're an idiot for dropping the pen starts to boost into the conscious brain, is when you're going for that job, that car, that house, that girl, just at the wrong time.
Yes.
So I want you to do this, guys. We're going to change your life from tomorrow. Get up in the morning, do the 20 exaggerated breaths. 20 of them. Hold on to something or sit down in the bed. You're going to go dizzy. The brain's getting oxygen it's never had before. Walk into the bathroom. If you brush your teeth with your right hand, week on the left, week on the right, week on the left, week for a month, okay? We're changing neural pathways up from set patterns that we're in automatically. Then I want you to stand in front of the mirror. 300 neural pathways, guy, that every single day they die. 300. What are you replacing them with?
Yes.
So when you step back 6 feet away from the mirror, the blemishes go. You don't get up to the mirror, but say, I love you 10 times. But when we're putting our makeup on, ladies, and we're putting shaves, guys, nobody sees us like that in the mirror. When's the
Yeah.
last time you were in the office? Hey, Jimmy Goods. We don't do that. But
Yeah.
when we stand 6 feet away, and this really affects us subconsciously, we look more attractive, we feel more attractive, and we love ourselves because, guys, you can't help anybody if you're not being kind to yourself and
Yeah.
you're not loving yourself. Everything you say internally and externally really matter to the human body. We've
Yeah.
all heard the Japanese scientists that did the water, 2 bodies of water. One was undrinkable because it paid horrible and swore It's
Yeah.
crazy how this stuff happens.
Right.
So understand you, find your niche in life, be kind to people, and do your best every single day and build an empire, guys. Don't build a business. Anybody can be. I got a card, business card, and a website for $6 off GoDaddy. Build empires and
Yes.
don't stop. This is my grandfather, which I never met, said to my mom to tell me, work so hard that you never have to introduce yourself.
I
And
love
that's
that.
what I did.
That's amazing. Now, can you tell everybody a little about some of the services you provide?
Of course, yeah. So if you're listening, guys, and not watching, I spell my name with two B's. ROBBKELLY.com is the website. Dr. Robb Kelly on any search engine. We have a couple of things out there interesting. We've got the robkellyfoundation.org. Jump on there. If you can give us $1, brilliant. If not, we may give you $1 if you're struggling. Jump on the website. We cover all psych, everything that you want to do to build business, survive, addiction, depression, all that stuff we cover. And we'll guarantee the results for you. We're the only company that has a 98% success rate, but you have to pass an assessment before you come on. And basically the assessment is, how bad do you want it?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And then tell everybody once again the website so they remember.
ROBBKELLY.com, robkelly.com with two B's.
I love it. This has been amazing, Dr. Kelly. I can't thank you enough. I hope you'll be on the show again and we could talk some more. We've dealt into a lot of different topics today. Like we stood on flow, but there's a lot of things we could talk about more in depth that I think will help millions of people out there. But today you have done a wonderful job sharing the importance of how to reconstruct your thinking patterns, how to reconstruct your life, how to take care of your body and how that affects your brain, how to break bad habits, how to break the terrible addictions. There's so many types of addictions that we create in our own lives that we could break to improve our overall life. That there's so many things that we can do. We just have to believe that we could do it. We have to have that want to be able to be the best version of ourselves. And we start small. Start with getting, like you said, that oxygen in the morning, do those breaths in the morning and start that way and keep a smile on your face and maybe smile back at somebody because you never know what they might be going through and really taking care of ourselves and really knowing what we want in life and going after it because we can get it if we really want it. And I love you for that. That's a great message. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Stacey.
I appreciate you. Have a great day.
Bye bye.